back, for most of us, we started school when we were 4 or 5 years old, right? We entered kindergarten, we went through, we graduated high school, and we said, oh, school's not too bad, so maybe I should go on to college. And so we go on to college, and we think, oh, that wasn't so bad, so I should go back in and teach. And we've never left school, for a lot of us. Some of us have gone out. I did a brief stint in the Army and then came back. And so for a lot of educators, it's really hard when people like Mike come in and say, what are the jobs of the future going to look like? And we think, I don't know, but will I have desks or will I have flexible learning spaces, right? Like, we're trying to figure out how to adapt all this. And so we've been doing a lot of work on bursting the bubble. And when I talk about bursting the bubble, it truly is about getting out of the school and figuring out what's happening and then figuring out ways to bring that into the school. And so I'm going to share a little bit about each of these 3 examples that are here. One of the things we talk about is bringing the outside in. When I go out and I meet people, one of the things I'll ask them is, will you come in and work with my students? I'm not talking about career day, right? I'm talking about working alongside of them. So Mike brought up that he was at my school a while back and students were working on a project. We asked 6th grade students, how might the human body adapt for climate change? Okay, these are 6th grade standards in the state of California, one of which is human body systems. No teacher ever wants to teach that. It's embarrassing to teach 6th graders about their bodies, right? And then the other NGSS standard is climate change and what's happening with the environment. So we thought, let's just merge them together and see what students could come up with. But what we quickly realized as educators is we didn't know the answers, and we had no earthly idea if what students were even thinking about made sense. So made a phone call to UCSD and said, could you send me over some medical students and doctors to work with students? And sure enough, they sent those people over. So they were on the ground with students, working through the questions students had and trying to help them come up with answers. So we're bringing that outside in. We're bringing in industrial designers, we've brought in accountants, we've brought in a ton of different careers. And our only thing is, this is not career day. Please don't come in with a slide deck. Our students have some legit questions and they need your help figuring out the answers. One of the other things we're doing is we're sending the inside out. So when you look on that bottom picture and you see a bunch of people with a giant thing of paper, those are our tech teachers, and we went to Hewlett-Packard. Because one of the things we were doing was, as many of you do, Hour of Code or Coding Week or integrating coding in our curriculum, but we actually had no idea what it looks like to code for a tech company. So called Hewlett-Packard, can we come out and see what you guys are doing? This is the only place they'd let us take a picture. I didn't even know they made paper and such, so they let us take a picture there. But we wanted to see, what does it look like in your world, so that when we talk to students and say, it's not just about coding, but it's about empathy, or it's about creativity or adaptability, like that was said, how does this actually work inside the classroom? One of the other things that we're working on is attending non-education events. My goal last year was to make sure that I attended more non-EDU events than EDU events, right? So yes, I'm here at ISTE. Yes, I've gone to other educational conferences, but I also showed up at an executive business breakfast, right? I showed up at this event that Intuit had put on. I've walked into things for industrial designers. Meetup is amazing. You can find anything going on. I don't know anything about those people or what their jobs are or what they're doing, but by getting into their world, not only am I connecting with them, but I'm also learning. So when people say things like, oh, I wish educators would just teach students the skills, now I'm starting to understand exactly what they're talking about because I'm connecting to them. One of the other things we talk to educators about is to get on LinkedIn. And their first response is, like, do I need another job? Am I getting fired? What's happening? Why are you telling me to get on LinkedIn? I said, to read what's being posted. Sony posted this amazing job that they wanted a music designer for their video games. And I thought, that's brilliant. Because how many people have class with the music teacher and they say, well, what am I going to do with this, right? Or you say, oh, I'm going to major in music. And people go, oh, are you going to be a teacher? Right? So to start to understand what those jobs are out there, get on LinkedIn. Do a random search. Type in welder. See how many jobs there are for welders out there. And even those jobs are starting to get really streamlined and more specified. So by having these opportunities, what we're doing is we're saying, yes, we don't know what the future is going to be, but we're bursting that bubble and we're letting the future in. We can't keep saying, well, one day it will come.